All right. We are showing as live and up and running. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Welcome back to Carolina Classic Racing CCR. It's been a bit since we last called one of these. I think it was July for the last season of the original Cup Series for the Thursday night series. That sentence made no sense, but that was when we were last calling a race for these guys. We are back again for another one of their season finales here. This time, though, Daytona gonna play host to the finale here. So, as always with the Super Speedway, anything can, probably will happen, especially with these guys. Open setup, realistic damage, and realistic weather. So if this thing goes cloudy for the race, oh boy, a lot of wrenches are going to be thrown into things because they were just practicing and now qualifying as we speak in the clear. And of course, to anyone who has ever raced on realistic weather, you know how much of a difference cloudy versus clear makes, which is crazy. But I'm looking forward to this one. 70 laps. And joining me in the booth for tonight, a gentleman who I've called plenty of offline races with on his end. He's helped me a good few times, but one of my closest friends. You may know him as AG the channel, Alex Graham, either way. But Alex, thank you a ton for hopping on board, my man.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is my first online race that I've called in nearly a year. I don't really keep up too much with the online world, but they put on some great shows. This is old-fashioned as it gets for NR2003. We got the original Cup mod, we got Daytona, the original Daytona, and they're doing an old school too, which is going to make this very interesting. You do not want to get caught up in any wreck tonight. It's realistic damage. So we'll see who can survive these 70 laps, but excited to see how it all ends up shaking out, as it looks like we got ourselves, it looks to me, 15 drivers in this field, so it should be a fun one here from Daytona.
Yeah, 15 cars. Steve Grant on pole, who, taking a look at the point standings, he's got a 35-point lead over Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson has not turned up, so that's pretty much sealed the deal for Steve Grant for the series, or for the season championship, because 97 Biscuit is his next closest rival. He's 71 back, so lock it up for Steve Grant no matter what. All he has to do is just take the green flag, and everything is sealed up for that 011 Speedland machine. And just to boot, he is on pole for tonight in that 011. CCR Rick, we also know him as Rick Castle from whenever he races over at Hobo, starting second in the number 42. Wiley King, teammate to the 011, in third, and Tex, one of the head admins here, will start fourth. Jeff Tower Havoc and Greg Stenzo, Den Francesconi, and the aforementioned Biscuit. CCR DJ and Knight will round out the top 10. Those are the drivers that took lap times. Also starting tonight will be Jason Dolfer, Big Al, Bob Base Connor, Ken Hansen, and Donald Ritchie will be the full 15-car field for tonight. And, of course, they kicked it to happy hour, which we're in the 5 minutes for now, and it went to cloudy. And, again, for anyone that does not race online or in the realistic conditions, it's almost like you add, like 50 horsepower when it gets cloudy. It is the weirdest thing. I don't know why it does that, but it just plays with the handling so much. It's bizarre.
Well, that's something that's also very true in offline as well. In my many offline races, when this game is in cloudy, they go a lot faster when the track is cooler. So these guys are going to be flying tonight, and that's going to make it a very fascinating race because they're going to be kind of on edge as well, I'd imagine.
Oh,
so yeah. That's going to make things quite interesting once we get going here at Daytona.
You got 4 minutes here, and of course, hey, I always shout him out whenever I'm doing a race, even whether it's with Zach or whoever. Of course, always shout out Alex's channel, AG the channel, and that's and a big part of that is because yes, we are very good friends in real life as well, but also again for the offline side of things, the the stuff that you do, Alex, for it is honestly some of I think the best for it, and I really think that anyone that wants to check out that side of things, and seeing just how strong it's still going, AG the channel is your place to do it.
Yeah. And it's not just me either. You've done a couple of offline races for us. Looking forward to the Top Dragster Open next year. But we also got Nathan Stapleton helping us out. We do weekly signups for folks. And Caleb Rose, of course, my right-hand man, doing a lot of stuff. He's currently doing our main series, Turkey Hill Truck Series, which is a lot of fun. And I'm kind of just hanging back, taking a little bit of a break. But yeah, if you want good offline racing, especially those guys and what they do on the channel is awesome. And I do a little bit here and there too. So we have a lot of fun with it. And, I've been doing it now for over a decade. So lots of fun and huge honor to be a part of the stray community. And even here on the online side, don't know it as well, but all these guys are great as well. And excited to see this event going on tonight as well.
Yeah, I know this is probably Alex. This is your first time seeing pretty much all these guys, so so yeah, I was even saying like a lot of the races that you and I have called, pretty much everybody's using like realistic names. These guys, they just throw whatever they want in there. Like
that's cool.
I mean, heck, great. We
got a lot of folks do that in offline too.
Yeah, although I don't know if you would approve of someone to sign up under Biscuit and nothing else.
Probably not, but you know what? That's all right here.
Yeah, we'll
have fun with it.
Yep, these guys have some fun. They race every night. I mean, they've got a series going every single day. Tonight, of course, is Original Cup. Tomorrow is Air 88s, which we will be broadcasting that as well here on the channel. They run the vintage truck mod, the newest mod that's out. NXS 15, next gen mod on Mondays. Gen 6 BR and Cup Physics CWS 15 on Wednesdays. It's like whatever you want, you can find it here at CCR. You guys put on a pretty good operation, and it's really, really cool. It looks like I was actually wrong about the 70 laps. It looks like it's actually going to be 60.
Ooh, a little shorter.
So a little shorter.
And I know you were telling me that we're looking at a possible 20 lap fuel run for this. So
20 at max, yeah. So if you're going to
two-stop really interesting.
If you're going to two-stop it, you're going to have to save a good chunk of fuel. And boy, if they run in cloudy conditions, good luck with that. I'm sure that'll also burn it up as well. Shout out to Bandit in the chat as well. Sorry you couldn't run tonight, man, but hey, glad to have you on board. Of course, thank you to anybody who's tuning in tonight. Again, this is the first race of 4 in a row here on the channel. 2 CCR races, 1 primetime race, and 1 fast race. It's going to be a lot, but we're going to be having a lot of fun. And again, always love having different guys up here in the booth. So, Alex, thank you again for joining me. And heck, I mean, we had your right-hand man, Caleb Rose, up here for a lot of races too, which is cool.
Yeah, Caleb's a little more versed in the online world, and he's smarter than me when it comes to this game. So yeah, he's definitely a great one to have. And I think if you had Trey right as a co-com, or
I did once, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Trey also does a lot of stuff as well now with online races, and he's really getting into that. And I think he's had Caleb for a lot of stuff too. So Caleb's just everywhere. Caleb's in places I don't even know who he's at. So you'll hear Caleb's voice more than you'll hear my voice nowadays. And but yeah, I'm glad to be here. Like I said, my first online race that I've called in probably 11 months. I think it was last November when I last did one of these, and I'm looking forward to seeing another one again. And this is a great place to have a race. And these super speedway races, when I did a couple of online races back in 2018 as a driver, these were the races that I did because it's all I really knew how to do. And it's intense in there. It's very intense being in there and trying not to wreck. Of course, I was a little unknowledgeable to the steering assists and things like that, but still, it was a lot of fun. And I know these guys are gonna have a lot of fun tonight with this race. And pretty sure it's the finale, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it is indeed. So
finale of the season.
Yep. And yeah, as I was kind of mentioning with Steve Grant with the point lead that he's got, and Brian Johnson not showing up tonight. Steve's got it locked up. The championship is officially his, as we have kicked it to the race session. I'm going to hop on and off track, and it is indeed cloudy conditions
Oh boy.
for the race. Oh my. This is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get everybody some live pictures here. As everyone's going to take to the grid here. Still waiting on a couple of them. And just while they're taking to the grid there, I'm just going to fix one thing here with OBS super fast. Oh, why is that not working? So GNL is not working. That's lovely. It's okay. I have a way to fix this.
GNL TV is always a little tough little bugger.
Yeah, it is. I apparently closed the game at some point. And what I'm going to do is, I know that looks a little weird, but I'm going to reopen the game, which is not going to cause any problem, I promise. And then with everything else open, that should fix that. We got it fixed before the race even started. That's what matters.
That's good. You're a lot better at fixing that on the fly, I think, than I am. You use that GNL a lot more than I do.
Yeah, it's a good tool to have. Just in time. Perfect.
They're rolling off.
Rolling onto the track here. Steve Grant and CCR Rick will be rolling them off here. And yep, we've got that up and running. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We also had to have the lap counter up there. That's important.
Yes, that is.
That is very important.
Well, Andrew, I'm curious your thoughts, because you're going to be a lot more knowledgeable about this than I am. With this cloudy weather, we got a pretty decent-sized field here. How clean do you think this race is going to be for these guys, knowing how fast they're going to be going around these corners? Because, like I said, they're going to be on edge with the way the weather is here today.
I absolutely agree with that. I will be honest and say that it would not surprise me if we see these guys running kind of spread out and just trying to hold on to these things. Because as you said, with it being pretty much everything that's going to throw a challenge with it, with the cloudy conditions, the original track, so it's not going to be all that gripped up. Open setup, so these guys are also going to be on edge in that regard. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if these guys run a little bit more spread out and prioritize just trying to maintain a steady wheel. That's going to be the big thing from what I can tell. Obviously, we'll find out here. This is a bit of a uncharted territory for what we've seen on the channel before. But as the pace car pulls in, Steve Grant, Rick will lead them to the green flag for 60 laps at Daytona for the final time in this season of CCR's Thursday Night Cup Series. Rick powering around the outside already. Yeah, everyone already kind of filing down a single file here in a hurry. And can't really fault them for that, based on what we're going to be seeing as these speeds already hitting 190. That's about the speed that they were hitting in clear conditions in the draft. And they're still working their way up to speed here as, guys washing up the track, but Rick will lead this first lap.
Yeah, Night 37 got a little squirrely back in there, and they're trying to get around him there in the 37 machine, tapping the outside wall a little bit. And, I have a feeling, based on what you've told me, these guys, and they're really washing up there.
Whoa!
And around goes the Jeff
Oh,
Havoc.
that's going to be an early yellow flag. Boy, Ken Hansen spinning it, and Knight will also get involved. Wow. Based on how everyone went into that corner, I don't think they're going to be able to go flat out.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They were all washing it up there as if they needed to slow down, which is not a standard thing that you see for Daytona, but they just got so much speed in these cars that not enough downforce, not enough grip in the tires to keep them going through the corner without lifting. So that'll make this a very fascinating race if that ends up staying the same.
Wow. And I saw Steve Grant just wash right up the track. And these guys are doing just under 200 going in the corner. And yeah, you see him left off down to about 190. And Jeff Havoc getting spun out by Greg Stenzo. But they both were heading for that wall. And there's a little hit there from the 37 to the 51. Didn't look too bad. So even on realistic, I think both those guys will be okay. Obviously, we'll have to find out. See what sent Ken Hansen around real quick. Man, he went for a slide and a half. He had to check up behind, I think that's Dolfer. And holy spin. That thing's sliding for half an entire corner pretty much and onto the front or back straightaway. Did clip the outside wall, but again, I think with some repairs on pit road, he should be a-okay as far as speed goes.
Boy, gotta give him credit for not taking very hard hits in this, and of course the fact that they were so close to the wall when they did spin out, I think helped a lot too. Not sure if there seems to be a decent amount of damage on the 51 there, G Stenzo, which is a shame. But to your point, I don't think we saw too much damage out of a lot of those cars, and considering we're at Daytona, that's not bad.
No, yeah, I'm right there with you. But with how that first corner handled, boy, that completely changes the dynamic of how this race is going to go. Because now you're going to have to... Whoa, why the King's sliding into pit road there. But yeah, you're pretty much going to have to completely change up your strategy and how you're going to drive this thing. You're not going to be able to go flat out. I mean, honestly, it's like you said, it's about as classic as you can get. This is probably, as close as you're going to get to what it would actually be like to drive a Gen 4 car at Daytona during this era.
I've never really seen it. All the races I've done, online and offline, these guys are going flat out the whole way through, so it's going to be a new experience for me, and I'm excited to see how it ends up playing out. I think, this time around, everyone's going to be expecting those corners to be a little different than what they were anticipating going into it, so might not necessarily see all those guys wash up initially, but we'll just have to see. It's definitely going to be very tricky out there, and with the fast racetrack and these guys running tight in the corners, we'll have to see who ends up having the advantage, because it's going to be difficult to win this race.
Very difficult indeed. Rick has stayed out. Everybody else came down there. And yeah, Rick's on the clutch. So that tells me that he's kind of taking this opportunity to save some fuel to try to make that two-stopper work. I think that everybody that pitted there, though, should be pretty good on that two-stopper from here. I say that because a two-stop on 60 laps with cup physics, and especially now in the cloudy conditions, would have been pretty tight. You would have had to have saved really, really hard to make that work. The field should have one to green here. No, we actually do have another lap of caution, so that's one thing also about the game track.
They raced back, so That was only 2 laps, so they're going to go back green on lap 7. So that would make it 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a 4-lap caution. So that's what you would expect in game a track like this.
Yeah. So yep, some extended yellow, but hey, just gives us a chance to admire these pretty darn awesome looking cars, if you ask me. Of course, the Speedlane cars always come out looking great, that being the 11 and the 95. Of course, ask Alex during practice when I got confused and thought the 13 of DJ was running a ThorSport font, of
It's
which,
pretty close.
yeah, not quite, but I would have thought so. And I mean, heck, we got original Kurt Busch and original, that the John Andretti 43?
I believe so. I believe it is John Andretti is the 43 in this game.
Donald
Rest in
Ritchie driving
peace.
that car, yeah. There's 37 back here, CCR Knight, a guy who get it done on the speedways. We saw him, I think, in one of the very first CCR races that we called. I wanted to say he finished runner-up to Ryan Johnson at that race, which I believe was at Kansas. Jason Dolfer rounding out the field at the moment. I think we have already had one retirement, and that is the 51 of Greg Stenzo. Unfortunately, a little more damage actually proved to be a little worse than we thought. So he has called it pretty early on here.
Yeah, I think he actually called it pretty much right when the wreck happened. Looking back at the replay, I think he just went to the pits after that. I think the hit that he took was a bit worse than what the 101 took, so not a surprise there. And then, when you wreck here at Daytona, it's going to be a big wreck, and I'm genuinely surprised that we only had the one car get knocked out from that incident, because the speeds, they were already pushing 190 close to 200 going into the corner right there. So we'll see if we get any more tonight. I have a feeling we will, but I think these guys are going to anticipate it a bit more coming to the green flag here in a lap.
As we've got them at 1 to go, coming through turn 2 at the moment. It will be CCR Rick out in front. The only driver not to pit there. Steve Grant will be second. Wiley King, Tex, and DJ will be the top 5. Francesconi, Hansen. Ken Hansen's going to restart 7th after that massive slide that he went for. It's pretty cool. I believe Big Al will be 8th. Jeff Havoc, Biscuit the top 10. I believe Bisconnor pitted there, and indeed he did. As did Donald Ritchie, topping those things off with fuel. Try to give yourself a little more flexibility if we make it to green flag pit stops. But yeah, Alex, I'm with you. I don't know what the heck to expect at this point now, because, as you said, the pack racing that we're so used to seeing at these super speedways, I think, is going to go completely out the window, and it's going to become a handling game.
Absolutely, and I'm all for it. I think when these guys have to actually maneuver these cars a lot more, it's a lot better racing. Kind of how I feel it, how it is in real life as well. I really like when these guys have to really control the cars, and that's what we're going to see here tonight. So excited to see how the next 54 laps go here at Daytona, as pace car is down, ready to take the green flag once again.
42, gonna get them back going here. The outside pole sitter. Nice restart there for Steve. See if he's gonna take advantage of that. He's got to do it around the outside, although he does have his teammate Wiley King with him. Those guys, of course, teammates both here and over at the Hobo Racing League that we stream on Tuesdays. Getting them up to speed. So they'll get through 1 and 2 just fine, it looks like. Just checking on through the field there. And still not up to full speed quite yet, but Steve Grant will take it to the point. But going through 1 and 2 this time around is going to be very telling of what these guys may have learned from that first or actually, that was the second lap when that occurred.
It was, yeah. Well, that was the first lap that they were at full speed going in the turn 2, so now we'll see. They're pushing 197 in the draft going into the corner, and a lot better this time around with these guys. Of course, they're all single file right now. A couple guys going a little wide. Biscuit went a little wide. Going to tap the apron right there in the 97. But they figured that out a lot better that time around, and now they're actually getting a little racy up front. Rick's going to the outside.
Trying to take the lead back.
Steve Grant, and they're trying to get a little draft for him in there on that outside lane.
Tex going with Rick there. And yeah, now they're holding some better speed. Oh, right as I say that. And Rick nearly lost it. You guys almost losing. I see Havoc almost losing control back there. So yeah, these things are still very, very slippery.
They are going fast, though. These laps pushing 45 seconds. They don't go this fast in real life anymore. It's a wild race here right now, and of course that cloudy weather making it what it is. But it's going to be difficult to go double wide, especially off the exit of turn 4. If that's the case, that wall's going to come right at you if you're not careful. And Tex, of course, going way back in the field from that. As a matter of fact, completely lost the draft right there and still trying to get back up to speed. And there is significant damage to the right side of that car. And with us running realistic damage here, it's going to be a hard one to recover from.
Oh, yeah. And even if you get it fixed on pit road, I mean, heck, that's going to cost you even more time. That's easily about probably 10, 15 extra seconds of repair time that thing's going to have to go through. So, tough break for Tex. Even though just like that, all it took was just one bobble off of turn 4 and cost him a ton of track position. As Rick taking a peek almost down below the yellow line. I actually can't remember if these guys have that rule or not. I probably should have asked them.
Well, when this game came out, it was not a rule, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope.
So, if we're really going back, then it's not a rule here. But I don't want to speak for them. Maybe someone else knows the answer to that.
If Bandit's still watching in the chat there, do these guys run the below the yellow line rule or no? Most leagues still do. So I'd be curious on that front. Yeah, these guys, they're still going at it here. Why the Kings trying to take second place? Francesconi and Big Al are going at it here. That, I believe, is for a top 5. Steve Grant looking pretty darn strong at the moment. I mean, heck, he's in the best position there because you don't got to worry about anybody around you, so you can really take the natural arc through the corner. That you would at most these tracks as Biscuit. Big hit into the inside wall.
Yeah, that's it for the 97. That was a massive shot there. And Jason Dolfer also going around as well.
Caution is out. I wasn't sure if it was going to come out there since it was below the line, but yeah, that was major for the 97. And I think that was him just losing it from what I saw.
Got up into the outside wall. I just couldn't save it and turned left and hard into the inside from that. So what happened to Tex a few laps ago, and unfortunately Biscuit couldn't save it there in the 97.
Yep, just clipped the outside wall slightly. I think just barely caught the front end of the 63. And that's what sent Dolfer going around. But my goodness, how many times, both in real life and in the game, have we seen hits to that inside wall just like that?
It's like a magnet.
And it's a magnet for absolute calamity. Yeah, that thing was absolutely destroyed.
By the way, Bandit did confirm no passing below the line, so that rule is still in effect for these guys, which makes sense. Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, knowing how online can get, not in this league it wouldn't, but I will be transparent and say that there could definitely be a league or two where having passing below the yellow line would probably not end well. So can't fault them one bit for that, as everybody's bringing it back down pit road once again, it looks like. Now at a super speedway, where tire wear is typically going to be totally irrelevant, what I think these guys are probably going to try to do is get it to a point where they can take less fuel on the final stop. You can maybe try to get it to within the realm of taking just a single can or a can and a half instead of the full 2, which is what you would usually see if you want to get it completely topped off. And that'll save you a couple seconds. So, the pit strategy will be playing into it possibly at the end of this race. Then I think these guys may also be trying to tighten up these cars based on what we've been seeing, and just trying to keep them from spinning out on corner exit when it unloads.
Looks like Wiley King won the race off the pit lane ahead of Steve Grant, so we got a new race leader.
First time seeing that 95 out front. We'll see what he's going to be able to do with that clean air. DJ up to third. And Hansen and Bob Bisconner looks like they'll be the top 5. Not that 94. We mentioned him still being in the top 10 after that big spin. Now he's going to find himself in a top 5 position. So that thing clearly not wounded at all, despite at least taking a little bit of a hit to the wall earlier. But hey, no harm, no foul. Keep that thing going. Got some fresh tires on that thing after that big spin, so he's going to be looking to be in really good shape here. Jason Dolfer may have lost a lap.
I don't think he's on the racetrack. Oh, no, he is.
Yeah, he's out there. He was just behind Wiley, and now he's going around. So
I don't know. Still what's frame for a second and didn't realize it.
You're good.
I know the. I think you would think I know the camera angles on this track for all these years. It was on TV2 off of turn 4, and I was like, oh, there's nothing going on. Where is he? Well, it looks like he is getting his lap back, or at least getting one of his laps back.
It looks like based on scoring,
yeah, he will actually get back on the lead lap. He is waved around from what it looks like.
Jeff Tower Habeck has also retired from the race. Not sure if we may have missed something that happened to that 101 machine, but that's already going to be 3 drivers out of it. We'll be down to 12 runners, and they should all be on the lead lap. Now the Dolphers going around here. Should be going green on lap 16, so that will be 45 laps to go. And again, these guys, I'm sure, are thinking, just try to keep these cars under them, whether it's pushing up to the wall or wanting to spin out on corner exit like what we saw with Biscuit there, and potentially anything that happened to Jeff Habeck.
I'm intrigued to see how this restart goes with a different driver leading the field. Will the 11 get back up front? Of course, Steve Grant going to be the champion this season, and he's had a great race so far. And even when he was out front, he was kind of pulling away a little bit, which is really nice to see. But we'll have to see how it ends up shaking out here for the 11 machine. I know that just let us know too. There's no wave arounds either, so he must have stayed on the lead lap and just beat the pace car. So that was a close one for him.
Yeah, lucky escape there for the 63. I'll ask you this just because I'm curious. I know that you don't race very much, but if you were put into Steve Grant's position, you know that you've won the championship. It's all said and done. Does that feel like that just kind of eases pressure and lets you almost race a little bit harder than you normally might, or maybe even a little easier than you normally might?
Well, if it were me, and I'm me, I probably wouldn't race as hard, per se, because, I want to race all my competitors with respect at the end of the season, knowing I've already won the championship, but, that pressure is not there. It has been the rest of the season. Of course, I think, too, he still wants to get the last win of the season as well as getting the championship at the same time, so we'll have to see. I don't know how aggressive it's really going to get. Obviously, we know how tight it is for these drivers here on this very slick racetrack. I'm intrigued to see how it ends up shaking out, though, because this 95 machine leading this field, he could end up pulling away like the 11 did, and we could see him dominate.
We'll see how much of a difference that clean air makes. We saw the 11, once he took advantage of it, was pretty well checked out there for a while. Let's see if Wiley can do the same thing. Interesting strategy call here for Rick. He is going to opt to give up the track position. and topped it off with fuel. So I think that he will be at the tail end of the top 10 here, it looks like. Bob Pisconer, Donald Ritchie, and Jason Dolfer will round out the field. Top 5 will be CCR and Knight, Ken Hansen, DJ, Steve Grant, and Wiley King. 5th through 1st. Pulled a reverse order on everybody.
And we'll probably still see a lot more shakeups tonight as well. So we're still very early on in this race. Not even a quarter, not even a third of the way through this race, I should say. So intrigued to see how aggressive it does get in the rest of this field. And also, too, you got to think, we got realistic damage. So you really can't recover from a wreck. So the more wrecks we have, the more cars get taken out and the fewer cars are left on the racetrack. So it can definitely make for a sparse finish here. And if you're still left in the race, it's going to give you a better shot at winning.
Survival. That's going to be the name of the game from what we are seeing so far.
Race of attrition.
Sometimes it be that way. Green flag back out. Wiley King with a nice jump there. Everybody fairly spread out here, and justifiably so. But if we're going to get these things up to speed for this first lap, and then once they get into turns 1 and 2 the next time by, when they're up to full speed, that's when it's pretty much going to be game on at that point. Although, look at this run that Grant has. See if he takes advantage or if he's going to just help out his teammate. Looks like he will take the latter option. So DJ right there with them there in that 13. And Hansen, little run there. Not going to take advantage of that. Tex on the tail of the 69 there, a Big Al. That was also a good break for Tex, that caution, because I'm pretty sure he's able to fix his damage and get back into this lead draft, because we saw what happened to him off turn 4 earlier on.
Yeah, it doesn't look as bad on the 85 now, so he probably did get a bit of that repaired from that hit he took earlier. And once again, they're washing up, and just as I say that, he gets back into the outside wall again, so
and
it's got to be frustrating for him. That's a long wall ride there through turn 2.
Yep, that's we had to say something. That outside lane is just not where you want to be, no matter what. Because there's just no way to catch it if it is going to push up like that. And like what just about happened to Rick. Looks like he was washing up the track there just a little bit, but manages to keep it out of the concrete. I'm sure these guys are at the moment probably thinking, let's just try and run out as many laps as we can. Maybe try to get some green flag pit stops. But priority number 1, which is very unusual for a super speedway, just try and survive. Try and keep these tires from kicking out on you. And above all, yeah, as you said, race of attrition, survival. Even though it's only been the 2 yellows, it's still showing just how tough it is out there on a tricky condition.
And you can tell that it's difficult just based on how these guys are racing. I mean, they really can't even go double wide without someone getting a little tight on the outside, hitting that wall. So everyone kind of trying to stay single file, trying to get to the end of this race, maybe get to a green flag cycle of stops. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Where Steve Grant just ran his fastest lap, being behind the 91 there, or 95, excuse me, of Wiley King. And he's peeking to the inside for this race lead. He's got some help there from DJ and Ken Hansen. They're all going to the inside lane, and we're side by side on the backstretch here.
See if Steve can get back to familiar territory here and to the point. Doesn't help that Wiley's blinking a little bit. But yeah, I think with the advantage of that inside lane, Steve will take it, and quite handily so. And now Wiley being on that outside. Hope he doesn't bleed off too many positions here. He'll fall back to 4th at least. Yeah, we got a lot more side-by-side going on here. Rick and Big Al stuck on the outside at the moment, but trying to get the runs to go their way. Not sure how long that's going to last for them, though. But Steve Grant back to the point with the 13 and 94 behind him at the moment. But I got to think that 11 is looking like the most well-hooked-up car out there at the moment.
And keep in mind, it's an open setup as well, so Steve's probably got a really good setup on that 11 machine, because even when he was leading earlier in this race, he was pulling away from second place, so that 11 machine is very, very well put together here tonight. And there's no grip on that outside lane either. I mean, there is a little bit. Riley King, Rick, they've been able to hold that outside lane a little bit there on the 37 of Night, but still, it's difficult to get up there, especially if you're getting past to the inside, and these guys have to be careful of the exit of turn number 4, especially, and even going in to the corners, as you're going to see the 69 there, Big Al almost washing it up into the wall. He managed to figure it out, though.
And Wiley also pushes up again. But, oh boy, Steve Grant's going to try to break the draft. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, at a track where we are used to seeing the draft be the entire factor, and of course this is the total polar opposite of what we're going to see on Saturday night when we do the Daytona Talladega double for prime time. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That outside is not where you want to be. At best, if the draft goes your way, you might be able to maintain position. I don't foresee any of these guys being able to make headway up there. You've got to find your way to get to the inside.
Maybe the key to getting up front is seeing if anyone in front of you makes a mistake. Maybe running a clean race, being there at the end is the best strategy to go. Steve Grant kind of trying to wave him down on the inside there, trying to block the draft of the 13 of DJ behind him, and they actually kind of slowed him down, cutting down to the inside down the back stretches. That 13 closed right in, and they got Ken Hansen. Remember, he made that very incredible spin there, actually tapped the walls a little bit early on lap 2, and now here he is up in the 3rd spot, and it definitely looks like he's got a car capable of contending with these guys.
Gonna try to take a peek to the outside. Oh, don't bumper grab. Close. That was they bumped there. Oh, that is not what you want to do.
That's going to give an opportunity to Rick to go to the inside for 3rd, and a double wide from 3rd, for 5th, and for 7th.
This is where it could get a little dicey in these conditions, but the 42 is going to take full advantage. Looks like should get the position. Big Al helping Ken Hansen out there on the outside lane. See if Rick's going to be able to clear here. It doesn't look like it. Yep, there he goes. Then Ken's going to get a bit of a run here. Maybe try to take that position back. Man, Alex, this is pretty cool, honestly. I'm with you for how different this is. But, oh no, that's Dolfer.
Yeah, that may have been from the damage earlier. Hopefully he can get back around.
Probably going to be a yellow flag, I imagine.
Yep,
there it is. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to bring out the yellow flag. Even if you throw the clutch in right away, the game still sees that as a big problem. So, well, yeah, whether it was damage or random, it usually claims at least one every race at a super speedway. Someone's going to get the engine to not want to see the checkered flag. Unfortunately, it's going to catch Dolfer out here, and it's going to end his night prematurely as well.
That means we're going to be down to only 11 cars left in this race. Started with 15, not even halfway through this one yet, so we'll just have to see how many are left by the time we get to the end of it. Like I said, if you're still in this race and still have a clean race car by the time you get to the end, you might have a good shot at winning. Well, they got to be careful here, slowing down. DJ just got spun a little bit there. I don't think that's going to hurt anybody too much.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean there. He should be able to regain his spot.
Coming in hot there.
Yeah, every now and then. It's something like that when everyone's checking up unexpectedly like that. He's still coming in hot here, trying to get back up to 2nd. See what the strategy is going to be here. We are now into one-stop territory. If you pit now.
We are.
So this should get you to within about lap 43, probably. 44 even, 45 if you pit now. And we run another couple laps under caution. So that should definitely get these guys to the end in one more pit stop after this one. And I'm sure that is going to be the unanimous call throughout this remaining field. Now with 4 cars out of it, Jason Dolfer showing a valve is what failed on that 63.
Not sure if that's from damage or the game just deciding to claim its victim for the night. I know that happens in these online races occasionally.
Definitely go both ways. I've seen a lot of failures at these super speedways, especially when you get a run going. But yeah, I do know that after what happened with that spin that Dolpher had, that could have also played into it. The game is very weird in that regard. You just never quite know. That's another thing that I've been watching with these guys is them peeling out of their pit stalls with the extra, I guess, coolness factor that the cloudiness offers. Is lighting up those rear tires is very, very easy to do, and if you're not ready for it, that will send you around out of pit road, and next thing you know, you scuff your tires all over again, and you're gonna have to come in again and try to take care of that.
Yeah, nobody said the tire wear wasn't going to matter too much, but it's got to make sure that they last all the way through. You don't want that blowing out either.
Oh yeah, yeah. You locked it up coming into pit road or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and you end up with a really worn out tire. You do run the risk of that tire going flat, and especially if it's that right front, that's your night over. If that
Mm-hmm.
blows, you're up into the wall, and see you later. So at least as they run at the moment, Steve, Grant, DJ, Rick up to third. So at 42, remember he started at the tail end of the top 10 the last time around, so was able to work his way forward. So proven you can absolutely make up ground. As DJ's actually bringing it back in. It's an interesting strategy play there. Donald Ritchie, there's Bob Bisconnor and Big Al also coming back in. Once again, knowing that they've got some extra laps of caution here.
I'm wondering too if DJ got a little bit of damage from the cooldown lap there, maybe just a little bit, and let's make sure it's all good.
Yeah, that's actually very true. That
And to your
13's
point,
definitely got a good piece under him.
to your point as well, with how few cars are in this race, why not top off? It's not like there are too many cars ahead of you who are going to be restarting. So maybe get a slight tire advantage, maybe get that fuel topped off a little bit and be able to make it a little bit longer. And, if a caution falls in the right time, it could end up being a fuel mileage race possibly, and something like that could mean all the difference once we get to the end of this race.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and even if it does go green, that kind of opens up the strategy a little bit for you. You can try to pit a little bit sooner, or even pit and not need to take quite as much fuel, kind of as we were talking about. So all those little nuances with when we're saying like, yeah, track position in this race may be a little more important than a typical super speedway, but depending on how cautions fall, that can be the difference maker. As Tex is going to be back up into the top 5 thanks to all the strategy shakeups there after he has lost the draft twice now. Getting into the wall, so hopefully that 085 is going to be a little going to be keeping away from that wall at least for a little bit this run. Hopefully so.
Yeah, it's been a couple of green flag runs he's tapped into it there. And he got the damage repaired again. And he's running 6th, so he's still, and now running 5th, so he still has a really good shot at getting back up there here as we got 1 to go. Always great to see. Going to get back to racing here next time by.
Lap 29 of 60, just shy of the halfway point. But it's looking like Steve Grant so far is going to be the favorite for this one. That thing has been, of all the cars, he has looked the most stable in addition to fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that combination is going to play into it. But at the same time, and it's funny, I remember this because it was a race that you actually streamed. It was an online race. This was years
That's been
ago.
a long time ago.
yeah, this was a long time ago. And it was it was Tyler Mallon leading a race very similar to this at a version of Daytona where, yeah, you had to drive it just like this. And while Tyler was dominating in the final corner, he just got a little bit too high, got into the wall, and lost the race. Yours truly actually ended up winning from that.
Congratulations.
It's like way deep in the AG the Channel archives. But it's back there somewhere.
It's somewhere. Somewhere back in the day.
That was Tristan Allen's league. When he had that going. Francis calling out Rick there, saying he's pretty good. Yeah, I definitely have seen the speed in that 42 with him working his way forward, as I had mentioned. And now the fact that he's back up into second. He obviously took the initial race lead. We'll see what he can do with the 11. We'll see if the 95 can stick with them. Or the 37. I think this is the farthest up we've seen Knight so far.
It is.
As the field gets it back going once again here. Boy, that's a restart right there for the 95.
Before the line, though, so a smart move there out of Wiley King. They kind of jammed up in front of him and now looking to take this race lead here on lap 29. Of course, a couple laps from halfway.
Third to first before the first corner. How about that for Wiley King? So we know that thing's at least got a heck of a restart gear, and so does the 37. He's found his way to get at least side by side with Steve, although the 11 is going to get some draft off of that 95. Now we're going to see a little bit of side by side here. Of course, these guys still getting up to speed. But again, how long does Steve play it patient here? Because he's already got a run on his teammate there. As we take lap 30, just one lap away from the halfway point in this race. Had a few cautions here. Of course, only two of them really for incidents, one of them for an engine failure. Ooh, up the track. Oh, that's a 13 DJ.
Yeah, that's a long wall ride right there. I don't think it's going to create too much damage, but he may lose the draft from that.
Yeah, I think
break there for him. He was running up to second at one point, I do believe, in this race, and he's about to lose the draft there back in now the 11th position.
That's the last car on the track. You get right down to it. As Steve Grant is back to third now, 42 actually out by him. Whoa! Big Al was about to have a moment
telling us,
there.
Watch out for Rick, but watch out for Steve Grant as well. He's back to the inside, looking to take second away.
Officially into the second half of this race, and yeah, they're trading it back and forth here for second place. Knight's looking pretty sporty here too, as he's going to try to make this move for the third position. Tex is going to go with him. Francesconi's there with him too in the 16. I'll tell you what, Ken Hansen, he's also been pretty sneaky. After that spin, we thought that was going to really kill his momentum, but that 94 seems like it at least has a decent piece under it as well. So, even at a treacherous superspeedway like this, it's still a superspeedway, and anybody can win it.
Wiley King is still leading this race. We'll see how much longer he leads. So Steve Grant right behind him. We've seen how strong that 11 machine has been here tonight. And even he seems to be washing it up the track just a little bit there behind the 95. He's been keeping it on that yellow line through the corners. So maybe it's changed just a little bit. Maybe some adjustments made on the 95. And the 11 hasn't caught up as much. But 11 catching right back up to the 95 going into turn number 3 is... Got Knight looking to the inside of Rick right there. Not enough momentum. And that's the thing. You really have to get a lot of momentum to be able to get to the inside. And it's difficult to really get that pass made, especially when all these guys are going as fast as they are in the single file line.
If this were CTS physics, it would be way more pronounced with the pushing and the runs that they were getting. Ooh, as Texan Francesconi just about had a moment there, but yeah. Just with the cup physics, the cup physics are definitely playing a part in how they're handling as well. There's obviously not nearly as much downforce, not as much drag. So that just amplifies every single ill handling effect of these cars. And of course the lower RPM Actually, the lower RPM may be a bit of a blessing, because if these guys were running full CTS RPMs, my God, we'd probably be going 210. That's not even an exaggeration. Heck, that's probably about how fast they were going when you had your 10th anniversary race.
No, when they were probably pushing 220. We really modded that track to be kind of crazy.
Kind of like the Thanksgiving 500, which
that's like 240 on Coca-Cola Super Speedway.
Coca-Cola Super Speedway. You're pushing the boundaries on that one.
Yeah,
Which,
it
hey,
makes this game fun.
Oh yeah, the Thanksgiving 500 is a lot of fun. It's been a year. I'm still not shutting up about it, and that's because I'm getting advertised to all these guys too now. Whoa, Ken! Ooh.
Well, we'll definitely be inviting you back in the booth for that as well. So we're probably, I don't know, 6-7 weeks away from it. So it really is not that long from now, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be our 11th running in a row, 11th annual Thanksgiving 500.
It really is one of the big crown jewels on the channel, and that's what's cool. When you do it for long enough, you get you get as big at it as you are. Those races do feel like big deals. They really do feel like special, and whoever wins it does actually kind of carry some prestige with them when they do.
But with all due respect to all our offline folks, I think winning this race here tonight is going to be much more of a challenge, especially with these two up front. The way these guys have been racing, it's hard to maneuver. But I got to give these guys a lot of credit. They've done a great job. You know, all things considered. I've been a part of many online races in the past where the racing has not been as clean as it is tonight. These guys definitely know what they're doing, and it's difficult. If I try to go out there right now, I'd be kicked from the server because I'd just be that awful. I also don't have a wheel hooked up, so that probably wouldn't work out too well for me.
Hey, don't stop me from racing on a controller, but I feel like in these conditions, oh yeah, I would have spun out by now. Oh, Steve, yeah, pushing up the track there a little bit, as did the 42. I said tire wear was going to be irrelevant. I am starting to question that. Now, with the speeds that they're running, the fact that they're probably scrubbing those tires a little bit through these corners, I do wonder if these things will start to get tight, and they may have to start to lift even more
as this run goes on. That. Knight, Tex, and Francesconi all ran their fastest laps that last lap. They're all in the draft right now, so they're all really pushing it back in there, and I think they actually might be pushing it a little bit more now that we're getting closer to the end of this race. Of course, we still have another cycle of pit stops left to go on this one, so that's gonna really play into it. But you can tell they're really pushing off turn number 4. Someone went around. I think it might have been DJ, or maybe Ken Hansen. I'll take a look at this for you here.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate that.
Well, wasn't a spin. Ken Hansen actually almost lost it. It was lap 36. Almost did the same thing Biscuit did, but saved it. Had to check up just a little bit. Drifted for a slight little bit, maybe about 100 feet. But was able to keep it going.
Credit to Ken there, but yeah, we were hyping him up, and now he has also lost the draft. Both him and DJ are going to be hoping for a caution. I think Donald Ritchie may be hoping for a caution here soon as well. He's barely holding on to this draft, although he's also showing some great speed that he's able to hold through that corner. Tex had to check up there a little bit. Actually, he might be okay. But you can tell now, I think everyone is like, all right, this is pretty sketchy stuff. Let's try and be a little bit careful, although I say that, and they nearly went 3 wide just a few moments ago. Thankfully, thought better of it. But now we're back down to single file for the time being. Well, not for long.
Francesconi. Well, that's going to be 2 for 1 right there. It
Big
looks
move.
like as Rick moved up there. He's got the inside.
See how this
will... going to quite have enough. That's going to be tight off the exit. Really had to check it up right there.
Yeah, Rick's going to hold on to that position for now. Pompous Connor's going to make an aggressive move down below Big Al there for... That'll be the 5th position. As we are at 21 laps to go, about another lap or 2, and the window will open that they can pit whenever they want and make it to the end. So keep an eye out for that. If anyone opts to short pit, they could probably, in reality, go to probably about 45, be my guesstimate, based on the caution laps. Maybe even a little longer, but obviously we'll have to wait and find out. But we are definitely inching closer to that point. Whoa, boy, Rick is struggling on that outside.
I can tell these guys seem to be getting a little bit tighter, and your point of these guys wearing out the tires might be true, but there's still, some of these guys are still coming close to their fastest laps of the race, and it's definitely getting more intense out there, but we still got that other cycle of pit stops left to go on this one, and you got to be careful, especially if this thing stays green. We have not seen a green flag cycle yet in this race, and it's going to be very difficult for these drivers to maneuver if that ends up being the case.
Yeah. Pitting under green in conditions that you have no idea what the heck it's going to feel like. I don't know what we're going to see. It may get ugly at points. It's definitely going to spread the field out. Very rarely do you ever see everybody pit through a cycle of green flag pit stops and all stay together, which at this point, this pack is now 8 cars with CCR Knight at the back of it. And actually, oh, wow. Okay, well, I was talking about short pitting. Donald Ritchie is pitting on his own. Unfortunately, had to back it up in his pit stall and was not quite lined up, so that's going to cost him a few seconds. But hey, he made the call that, you know what, it's going to be easier and safer for me to just pit by myself, and that's what I'm going to do. I think we may see another taker or two here. It's going to be Tex and Knight. See how they do coming in here. Nice and clean. That was perfect.
They're coming in very small spurts right now, which is good. You have someone make a mistake, it could get kind of ugly. Then, as it being the case with a lot of guys trying to come down the pit lane. We still got ourselves 6 drivers in this lead draft right now who have yet to come down, and they're going to have to come down in the next couple of laps. Impressed with Wiley King. He's led every lap since the restart, been able to hold off the 11. We'll just have to see how the cycle of pit stops ends up shaking out, because this could very well determine who gets this race victory.
Wiley is going to end up pitting here.
Ooh.
I think I saw someone else in. That was Francesconi. Another benefit of pitting in small spurts like this is you can generally be a little more aggressive coming into pit road. If you're pitting around like everybody, you have to be a little more mindful of the different braking zones and try not to get into anybody, so you tend to be a little more cautious, which I think will cost you some time. So, now that these top 4 have stayed out, Wiley King was leading, and as long as Wiley has a clean pit stop, which it looks like he did,
and our leader, Steve Grant's coming down.
Here he comes.
So is Rick. Oh, so is Pisciner as well.
Pisciner being very bold here.
To your point about being aggressive. Oh, boy, that got close.
Oof. There's Rick nearly caught him, but yeah, he was just on pit entry. Pisciner just gained 2 spots.
A very smart entry there. And he slowed down before Rick did as well, which was very good.
Yeah, he made pit road speed, no problem there. Call is definitely, you're going to want to take either 2 tires or no tires because of just how the fueling is. Although, oh, he is going for 4. I don't know if that's exactly what he wanted. As Rick and Steve Grant are going to come out together here. Where is Wiley King? That's the big question. He's all by himself. He's going to pass Pisciner.
Turn 1 right now.
Ooh, boy, yeah, he's going to get a run on these guys. Cup physics and the lower RPMs. These things lumber their way up to speed. He's still going 20 miles an hour faster. I wouldn't recommend that block. I thought Rick was going to try for it.
Yeah, that would not have worked in any scenario.
No.
Thankfully, we avoided a major accident there, but how about Wiley King going to take the race lead once it's all said and done? How about Tex as well? Like he's going to be part of this main pack in that 85 machine. So
Yeah.
he's tapped the wall a couple times, had to repair damage a couple times, and he's still very much in the fight here.
Looks like we're going to be down to 4 cars to battle it out here. As Bisconner's all by his lonesome, Knight's by himself. Big Al's got nothing. Yeah, everybody behind those top 4 are just all by themselves. As Steve Grant with the run. 15 laps to go is going to take that lead right back.
And Rick's here as well. And, you know, these guys are going to be aggressive going for the lead now, knowing there's only now 14 laps to go in this race. Definitely closing to the end here at Daytona. And I feel like any of these 4 guys have a very good shot at winning this race here tonight. So we'll see how it ends up shaking out now that these guys can just go for it to the end. And fuel should not be an issue either. They pitted very much within the window, so they can just go for it here these last 14 laps.
Flat out, no saving, no nothing. It's just going to be driving as hard as you can. And again, though, with how Steve Grant's been handling this thing, is anybody going to be able to make really much of a move here? With only 4 cars, can they get the energy to try and make something happen? Obviously, it's going to be very telling here in the next 13 laps. Rick and Wiley have both had cars that have led. They've been capable of at least sticking with the 11. They passed him before. This is the highest up that we've seen Tex, so not sure what he might be able to do from that 4th position. But I've got to think if Wiley can get even close to the 42, and if they generate just enough energy, then maybe they can try to pull it off where they get to Steve's quarter panel. And then it's game on once you get side by side with somebody. So we'll see if they can pull that off, or if Steve just has the right car for the job to keep it where it's at. We're now at 12 laps to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, and to your point, you know, I mean, Steve Grant going a little wide in the corner. You got to be careful not to make that mistake. And you referenced that one race that I called 5 years ago. You can dominate a race like this, but you make one mistake like that near the end of a race, that could cost your shot at the race victory. So you can't get too complacent here. And, you know, Steve Grant, of course, winning this championship, he's already got that locked up. I know he'd love to go out winning the last race of the season as well.
Go out with a bang.
He's got to be careful not to make that mistake too many times, or otherwise Rick's going to be there, Wiley King and Tex are all going to be there, ready to pounce for this race win. 11 laps to go here at Daytona.
As they are catching Ken Hansen. We're going to end up putting him a lap down. I'm just very, very closely watching Rick's line here to try to see if he's going to try to do anything differently. Of course, at least down the back straightaway here, Steve may actually have a little bit of an edge because he's going to get a little bit of a draft off the 94. Gonna catch him through the corner there. Shouldn't have any issue. Rick may have to check up there. I think he did, so there's going to be some separation there. But now that could also be a case of, is that going to be too much separation for Steve? And are these guys going to be able to generate the run now that they're a little more clumped together? And Steve up the track he goes again. And look at Rick just close right back in.
Yeah, you can't get too far out ahead. Even though it's been a very difficult track that goes side by side, you still need to be in the draft to run well, and that's definitely the case. And even like with the 94, Ken Hansen, I know everyone got around him, he may actually be able to pull up to these guys and stay with them if he wants. I don't know if he's going to get in the middle of that lead battle, being a lap down now, but you know, that draft is a massive thing, and you need it if you're going to run well here at these speeds. But to your point as well, with how small of a field it is up front, it's going to be hard for these guys to gain any sort of momentum, gain any sort of run. It's probably going to come down to someone making a mistake if that ends up happening. So we'll see. Steve Grant's run pretty much a flawless race up to this point. He's got himself 9 laps to go to get the race victory here in the finale.
Once again, Rick getting a little bit lower there through the corner, while the King fell back there just a bit to Tex, but has now got that run back going again. It's probably going to be one of these top three. All credit to Tex and keeping it up here, but I just don't think he quite has the car that these top three have. Well, then again, I don't know if anybody has the car that the 11 has.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, just with what we're seeing now, taking 8 to go. It's gonna. Oh my
No!
gosh! What was that?
The 11 just went up into the wall, and the top 4 all got caught up there.
What was that? I am so
I'm wondering if he
confused.
blew, to your point, blew a right front tire.
He blew it. I've got nothing. Oh my gosh. Rick got through that unscathed, I think. None of the rest in that top 4 did.
And what was I
Wow.
saying? You know, all it takes is a mistake, and you lose the race. That was a massive mistake. If it was a mistake, it could have been a mechanical failure going into that corner right there.
Yeah,
Or
I don't
tire
know.
failure for that point. The way he angled up into the wall, that was very strange.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have 2 guesses. He barely touched the apron through the trioval and got loose.
He was getting
That that
close to it.
that's guess number 1. Guess number 2, he had like a pop-up or something. Although then again, yeah, there's a weird twitch in there as well that tells me that there is something else going on. Like, technical. You can see, like, just before he hits that outside wall, the car, like, does a weird phase. I have never seen that before.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna get one more replay of it for everybody.
That is unbelievable.
I'm trying to decipher that. Yeah, you see that twitch there, and oh wow, the 42 actually did get hit by the 11. Don't know
Yeah,
if that
that
damaged
was
him.
a pretty hard hit to the right side there for the 42. And Wiley King was close to avoiding it, but couldn't avoid it. And then Tex had nowhere to go because that all happened in front of him.
Yeah, Tex has
If
damage.
if all 4 of them have significant damage, it's going to give Big Al the race lead.
Yeah. Yeah, even if they stay out and they're just like, well, we're committed now, we might as well just see it through. Yeah, you're right, Big Al, who was nowhere near them, could end up in the catbird seat here. It looks like Tex is going to end up hitting, maybe, on the apron. Yeah, he's coming in. Well, so
Yeah,
was Big
he
Al.
definitely took a hard hit.
And yeah, everyone else with damage. Interesting call for some of these guys to hit. Maybe they figure, and to your point, tires could play more of a factor than we thought, and maybe they're thinking, hey, we'll get enough laps going here, we'll get up to speed, we'll slice and dice our way through there on some fresh tires. Could be the mentality there. But wow, what a weird one. I'm gonna have to talk to Steve after the race. Obviously, we'll do our regular top 3 interview, but yeah, post race and post stream, I'll have to talk to Steve and see what happened, because that looked like it had to have been something technical. Either that, or if he somehow, yeah, just lost it on the apron and the warp happened at just the wrong moment. That is my only 2 hypotheses in that regard. But what a break.
Yeah, that's such a shame. You know, you dominate a race like that, and something like that happens, and that's got to hurt if you're Steve. You know, at least the consolation is that he'll still be the champion, but you know, that almost had a win at Daytona, and looks like it's going to get taken away. Though he is back out there in the 11, so did not get taken out from that, which is nice to see. That was a hard hit. You would think that would have taken him out.
I think he'll still be on the lead lap. But yeah, with how good of a car he had, yeah, that's a stinger right there. It's going from leading, and honestly, I was watching that going, I don't know if Rick's going to be able to do anything with him unless Wiley gave him an almighty shove. I was thinking that was Steve's to lose. I may have said it earlier in the race, and I think the curse from the Hobo, New Hampshire race may have struck again, where every single driver that I talked positively about in that race at all crashed or blew an engine. Every single one.
Yeah, you're pretty bad at jinxing. Even in our offline races that we call, you tend to jinx quite a bit.
I think I think the start of it all was Stuart Gratton. I can't remember what race it was. I just remember that I picked him to win when I was co-common with you, and then I think his car wrecked on like the second lap or something.
Yep.
It was
I forget
something.
which
It
race
was
it
something
was.
stupid, but
that did in fact happen at one point.
I still am sorry to Stuart to this day. Well, we're at 5 laps to go right now. Lights are still on, so that's telling me that we're going to get 3 to go when we go green. So that'll be pretty much 2 laps at full speed. Rick is staying out here in the race lead. Don't know if he has any damage that could affect his speed or not. If he does, Bob Pisconer is going to be second with DJ, CCR Knight, and Big Al in the top 5. You had mentioned DJ and how fast he was looking earlier on. Obviously, he ended up losing the draft, but watch for that 13. I think that was a good call out on your end that he's got some good speed as well.
Yeah, and looks like he's gotten... I don't think he really even got any damage from when he did hit the wall, so it's looking like he's got a pretty good car. And there might be some damage in that 42 machine. He took a bit of a hard hit there to the left side or the right side of that car as Pisconer's coming down the pit lane here.
Just
looking, no,
he's faking out.
Us out. It was kind of low.
I was gonna say, I was like, seriously? At this point in the race? Hey, sometimes you're just like, you know what? I know I don't have a car to do it. Y'all have at it. I've done that once or twice. 1 to green in a race that looked like it was going to come down to 3 or 4 guys at best. All of a sudden, it all just turned right on its head.
That it did.
And CCR Rick, the only one to emerge from that unscathed, at least from what I could tell. It looked like there may have been some side damage just from that angle. Again, is that going to affect his speed enough that it's going to cost him? It's hard to say. Obviously, we're going to have to find out once these guys get up to full speed in about a lap or so. But man, the door is wide open for whoever can get a run, but I know whoever gets it, they are taking every inch of it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got to do at this point?
And they only get one shot at it, too.
One shot, one opportunity. This is going to be the moneymaker. 3 laps. CCR Rick, then Pisconer, DJ, Knight, Big Al. Tex is going to be 8th. Wiley King, 10th, and Steve Grant will be last car on track in 11th. In one of the more bizarre... one of the more bizarre cautions to cause a shootout that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't just hear someone spin out, did I? Oh my gosh, I did.
Oh no, that was DJ.
That was DJ from 3rd, and he's came up into Steve. What the heck?
If that ends up triggering another yellow, we're not going to get back to a restart, and that's going to end up ending the race. But
I
pace
think
car's coming down right here.
Game's saying, nope, race on, fellas. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to give an opportunity to Knight and Big Al if they can catch up. And a good jump there for Pisconer.
You get to the inside there. Wow, yeah, look at the gap.
And then DJ actually went back and took his position. He's now back up to 3rd, and now he's got a full head of steam in the 13 machine. So
you're right, he does.
What's going on.
As Pisconer's clear into the race lead.
The 10 mile per hour difference right now.
He's in their draft. Did that spin actually just win him this? Let's find out. Alex, this is one of the more bizarre things I think I've ever seen.
I haven't called an online race in almost a year, and this is what we get. I'm all for it. This is something else here at Daytona.
Coming to 2 laps to go. Rick's going to try to take a peek to the inside. The Bizconner clear in the 38. Where did he come from? I couldn't even tell you where he was running before that caution came out.
Well, he's now out front, and that's the most important position. He's got a very good opportunity to get him this race win. The momentum from DJ stalled out, and we got top 5, maybe even top 6, all in a line right here looking to get this win. Next time by, it's going to be the white flag, and once we take that, that's it. We're racing back to the checkered flag.
Race on. A shove to the 42 to try to get him up there. He's going to try to peak high, try and get some momentum onto the front stretch, and he's got help with him. That is the most help that he's had, although they get into the wall. That's going to be Big Al spinning with Knight. Will we make it to the white? We will.
And the race is on here at Daytona.
Racing back. Francesconi's now up to 3rd. With DJ back to 4th. But is that damage affecting Rick? Gonna need some help from the 16. I don't know if they have enough of a run. He's gonna throw the block. Oh, bumper hook!
He almost lost it.
Can't believe he held onto that thing. A little run to the outside here. 38 trying to cover it. And to the checkered. Francesconi's actually going to take second, maybe to the outside.
Look at this.
Oh, you're kidding me. Dan Francesconi wins it at Daytona. Are you serious?
That was much like the 2007 Daytona 500 finish there, the way they were coming to the checkered there. Outside lane gets it. 0.017 on the ticker. 1 lap led.
Wow.
You gotta love it. What a finish here at Daytona. They put on a good show for this finale, no doubt about it.
I can't believe how that ended.
Gets it done.
Oh, that was cool. Man. Dan Francesconi, the driver that I had to give Alex a little bit of assistance on the name pronunciation.
Oh, don't say that.
Hey, it's all in good fun. It's hey, and a guy that we really did not see toward the front there a whole lot. He was in that lead draft for quite a ways up until those pit stops, but never really made a whole lot of noise. But that's Daytona. And man, that is a deserved burn down right there. You gotta be, you can't imagine just how much these guys' hearts are probably thumping right now with how crazy that was.
Especially Francesconi's there. That's wild.
Oh, you're not kidding. I'm sure his and Bizconner's both. Bizconner's gotta be thinking, man, what did I do? What did I do wrong there? But hey, he still took full advantage of getting up front there, getting a great restart, and getting by Rick, who's still going to finish 3rd, by the way. He's still only a 10th and a half separating the top 3. Man, that's just about everything that you want there when it comes to a Daytona finish. A finish that I don't think any of us really saw coming.
Not at all. I mean, in the back of my mind, just thinking the way this race went, I thought, you know what, we may get a side-by-side finish in this race, and that's exactly what we got.
That's what we got.
The thought crossed my mind for a second there, but wow, they put on a show there at the end, and that was some great racing too. Francesconi, Bizconner, and Rick, they all just ran a clean race at the end, and really all these guys did the whole night. I'm not sure what happened to Steve Grant. I knew that was not bad driving in any way. That looked like a mechanical issue or some sort of issue that was out of his control.
Oh yeah.
But well, that was fun.
That was fun.
Thanks for having me on for this. That I was definitely entertained with that at the end.
Gladly. I will be 1,000% honest, and maybe this is where the jinx came from. That I was just thinking in my head, man, Steve Grant just has too good of a car. I don't think they're going to be able to get a run on him. I think they're going to stay as they are. And then that happened, and yeah, that I hate it for Steve. I really do. But ultimately, we ended up with a crazy end there. I mean, heck, it all started even before they retook the green with guys spinning out there, which I'm actually going to take a look for myself off camera here and see what exact. Oh, well, they reset the server. Never mind. But Francesconi, what a win for him. Bisconder has disconnected from the server, so we won't be able to talk to him, unfortunately. But hey, as per usual, we'll get a word at least with our third and first place finishers here. We'll start with Rick, who also had a great piece, and I do think that damage may have affected him slightly there at the end. But I think we'll go ahead and get a word with him here a while.
User was moved to your channel.
We've got him in here. That is CCR Rick. Do you copy, my friend?
Yeah, I got you.
It's going to be a third place finish for you. Ultimately, you were right up there with Steve at the just before that caution came out there with whatever happened with you guys. May have had a little bit of damage there. It looked like. Do you feel like that any damage that ended up affecting you there in those final 3 laps?
Yeah, I think it probably did. I didn't think I had a whole lot of damage. I definitely didn't have any engine damage, but I think it might have hurt some there. And also the restart was a little odd because, coming out turn 4, the yellow flag came out. I think something was happening behind me, and I thought they were going to wave the restart. And next thing I know, it went green. So, I was a little, definitely slow on the start there. And so I put myself behind right off the bat. But so it was kind of tough. Maybe if I was out front, it might have been a little different.
Hey, it's one of those cases of who knows the different possibilities. One thing I do know is it seemed like the track, just in general, with the cloudy conditions, seemed like it was really wreaking havoc just on the handling and how to take the track. You guys were having a hard time staying flat out, were you?
Tough to keep it out of the wall coming out turn 4. I made some adjustments on an early pit stop, raised the track bar up a whole lot, and seemed to help my problem there.
I got you there, and I guess the final question there: do we know what happened to Steve there on that wreck? It seemed like it could have been something technical.
I believe, yeah, I believe he mentioned on the TeamSpeak that he was, looking at a couple different F keys at the time, and he just took his eye off the, sometimes you just glance away for that second, and I think that's what happened with him.
That's all.
Because it surprised me that he just turned right into the wall.
Yeah,
surprised all of us.
Yeah, it got all of us going like, "Oh my gosh, what was that?" But hey, that's just the fine nature of Daytona, and especially on a night like this.
Yeah, but the 42 car felt pretty strong all night. Even when I started up in the back, was able to get right back up to the front again. So, yeah, pretty good car. Just I'd be happy with a third place finish. Guys are tough to race with here. All good drivers.
Right on with that. I'll turn it over to Alex if indeed you do have any questions or anything for Rick here.
Yeah, well, I guess what happened when Steve went up into the wall, I'll probably caught you off guard, but I saw that you got a bit of a hit there. Do you know how much damage you took from that, and what were you thinking when that happened? Because that kind of concerned me. I was like, oh no, is he going to be able to finish this race?
Right. Well, like I said, I didn't have any engine damage, and I had one of my old teammates, Jason, in my ear, and I had him looking at the car, and he said he didn't see anything looking that bad on it. Because I told him, I said, "What's my car look like?" I said, "Is it all caved in, or is it just scraped?" Because I felt like I just kind of glanced off him. I'll have to look at the replay and see. But it probably, I mean, I definitely showed that I had damage, but I knew I didn't have engine damage, and I was rolling the dice, keeping staying out there.
Well, it worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah,
didn't quite get the win, but you didn't go away from you there and got a top 3, so that's good.
Right, thank you.
Now, just before we let you go, Rick, anytime that we get someone up here for an interview, we always let them have some closing thoughts or any shout-outs that they want to give, really anything of that nature. So, with that being said, the floor is yours if you would like.
Well, like I said, I was mentioning, thanks to Jason for he was like a spotter for me at the end there, and definitely thanks to you guys for putting on this race. Really appreciate it.
Hey, happily, man. Great run out there. Great job on the third place, and yeah, all in all, yeah, you were definitely one of the top cars out there throughout the night. Really big props to you, my man. Great job.
All right, thank you very much, Alex.
That was Rick.
User was moved out of your
down
channel.
there. Our race winner also disconnected from the TeamSpeak. So I don't got nobody else.
Got so excited from winning the thrilling race, went up to celebrate.
Yeah,
Open the cold one probably, maybe. I don't know.
Deservedly so. I would. Oh my gosh, I would be.
Yeah, I'd definitely be feeling it if I won it like that.
I'd be losing my mind. Oh man, what an incredible race that we got to see there at the end. I'm sure those guys are probably getting into just some of their gaming that they do. That's another thing about CCR. If you did want to come out here and race, a lot of the nights they'll put on some racing, and then afterward just some other casual gaming with the group. So chill group of guys over here, and always honored to be able to broadcast for them. Again, we get to do it all over again tomorrow, the second to last race of their Friday season, and that will be the Aero 88s at Nashville. So looking forward to that one. We will, of course, see everybody then. Before we wrap it up, though, I know, Alex, you've kind of been already mentioning just how cool that was, but all in all, though, just any particular closing thoughts on what you got to see here tonight and being in the booth once again for another online race?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. These guys definitely put on a show, and I'm very impressed with how good these guys are too. I mean, obviously, they've been doing it for a long time, and when you're passionate enough about it, just like yourself, you know what you're doing, and that was definitely a passionate win right there for Den. That was something else, getting that run on the outside, and all in all, a great show. Lots of times you get these races with smaller fields, and sometimes you kind of just run in the line. They did that, but it was fascinating seeing them go single file like that and know how hard it was for them to keep it together. So all in all, a great race. These guys put on a great show. And thank you, Andrew, for letting me be a part of this and being in the booth for one of these online races again. And hopefully you'll hear my voice a little bit more in some of these online races in the future as well. So we'll see how that goes. But great job as always, Andrew. And love that you put all this on and really showcase the online side of it, which is still, 23 years, almost 23 years after this game came out, still very strong, and there's a very large group of people that still come out every single night, just like you said, to do this, and it's awesome. Love this game, love this community, and love supporting it in every aspect, and it just showed us the best of what it is here tonight with that 0.017 second finish here at Daytona.
And to all of that, I'm just so honored, as always. I always mention it, and it's because it's true. I'm honored to be a part of just bringing it to the masses in some way, shape, or form, and just having fun with it in the process. I know I will always say I'm no TarnationTV. I just have some fun with it, and I appreciate everybody who puts their faith in me doing this. But it's like Alex said, we're just showing our love for this 23-year-old game, and still an incredible community that's keeping it going. So many guys that are putting so much time, effort, and even a lot of money into it as well, for the love of it. A big part of that love came this past Saturday night, 5 days ago, when the David Bones Cannon Memorial was held. To those who don't know, David was one of the big admins, or one of the league admins over at RTG, and RTG is one of the leagues that is very, very poignant in keeping a lot of the online racing going. And he passed away unexpectedly about a month and a half ago. And the outpouring that came out for that, there were, I think, 50 plus drivers that attempted to make the main event for that. I was so honored to be a part of that. And that, again, just shows the community and the love that everybody has for each other in the community and the game itself. And
Absolutely.
I get to share it with all these guys here on the online side and on the offline side with stuff like what Alex does and what Caleb Rose does, and all those guys on that end too. It's an incredible game, and it's free to play. So to anyone who's wanting to give it a go, give it a go. It is well worth your time.
Absolutely.
And reach out to anyone on Facebook. Facebook's usually your best bet as far as finding league admins and just getting in touch and seeing how to race. I always recommend it. I rambled on enough here. I'll let everyone go. Thank you again to Alex. Congrats to Dan Francesconi on a thrilling, incredible win after a very, very unique yet really, really awesome Daytona race here tonight. And congrats to Steve Grant on the season championship, even if the race didn't quite go his way. As Alex said, that championship is all his, and that will not change. On behalf of all these guys at CCR, we'll see you guys tomorrow from Nashville. Until then, a good evening, take care,